start off the top, but I've never done this, and that's kind of what this whole thing is about. It's just me saying, let's do it. This is the first attempt I've ever done at a podcast, and I figured I might as well do it, because what else am I doing? First of all, let me tell you who I am. I'm Andrew Chapman, to some people. Chappy to others. That's my nickname. And I have this thing about me where I can't shut up. I love to talk. I love talking. A lot of people are like, that's enough. That is enough talking. You've talked enough. Please just Marceau it for the next hour, if you could. But basically the whole idea of this podcast, or whatever it is the kids are calling it these days, is I've come to have the fortunate opportunities to know some pretty great people in the especially in the Toronto entertainment industry, mostly in the comedy field, whether it be stand up or sketch or what have you. And I talk about these people a lot and speak very highly of them because I honestly firmly believe that I don't have any talent. This last 12 months has certainly proved that. What I mean by that is for the last 7 years or so, I've been in television. I was the host of a few TV shows, mainly for kids, and I kind of walked away from it last year to say, let's see what else I can do. I'm a single guy. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have any kids. I don't have a car. I barely have shoes. So let's see what else is out there. And the answer is not too much for a guy who, I'm pretty much pigeonholed. I don't know. That sounds too negative, but I guess my niche is the kids entertainment, kids television market, because since leaving last December of 2013, ladies and gentlemen, which seems like forever ago, I've been able to film a show, which is like a game show, but that ended in February of 2014, and then I had a little guest role months later, in like August, on a show called Murdoch Mysteries, where I played W.C. Fields. And then 2 months after that, I hosted another show, which only lasted a month. And that ended, obviously, in November. Which brings us to now, which is March 10th. It's some people's birthdays, some people in the Toronto comedy scene, and some great, and for my money, some of Canada's best improvisers, Adam Colley, Kayla Lorette. It's their birthday. And so happy birthday to them. So it's an interesting thing. So let me gather my thoughts here. Like I say, I'm single. I'm sort of unemployed because I don't currently have a gig right now, and I have to move soon. I'm currently renting a condo in Toronto, and the guy who owns it, who's never lived here before, is moving in. He's moving in June 1st. So here's the mission. I've got to find a job because money's good, and let's have some more of it now, please. But also, when you apply for rental units, you kind of sort of need to tell the landlord you have a job, that you work for somebody. So that's what I was doing today. I was looking for jobs. January to March, or the end of March. Man, what a weird amount of time. If you don't have a current gig, trying to find a job, any job, really, whether it be in the arts or just, a Joe jump, it's a weird time to find a job. And I don't know why that is. I'm not a smart man. I don't know how to do math very well. I don't know how to hang on to my money. But I guess there's some fiscal quarterly... I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. So to everyone who, while I was in the TV world, who I sort of looked at funny going, why don't you get a job? Get a job anywhere. Get a job at the hardware store. Get a job at the video store. Get a job. I think I have to apologize. I did not realize how hard it is to get a job. As you can see, I'm a bit of a weirdo. I'm heavily influenced by Jerry Seinfeld. I'm heavily influenced by Johnny Carson and Conan O'Brien and a bunch of other people, which it'll come out if I keep doing these podcasts, which I hope to do, because, hey, what the hell, right? So I figured I'd start this because it's a weird transitional time in my life. A lot of things are changing. I've been 30 for 7 months, and let me tell you, I always thought that 30 would be a cliche. 30, I haven't done this and I haven't done that, and I'm 30, and oh my gosh. And when I was younger, certainly in my 20s, I was like, who cares, it's 30, it's just another age. There is a weird thing at 30. These last few months, even last year, really, I've been thinking, what have I done? What have I done? I don't have a job. I don't have a girlfriend. I had one of the best girlfriends anybody could ask for, best relationship, and I messed it up, for lack of a better term. And that's not happening. You can try to get back together with people, but if they don't want to get back together, I got news for you. You're not getting back together. You're just not. It's not going to happen. So I'm banging away at that drum, and I'm banging away at the employment drum, and just seeing what happens. But it's interesting. I was talking about influences earlier. I'm also heavily influenced by Back to the Future, and it is strange because for me, a guy who is so inspired and influenced by Back to the Future, I don't think I ever thought about the future. I never did. I thought about now. I thought I was just in the moment. And what happens now, and where are people now, and how can I get to them, and let's do another round. That was pretty much me, and it got me to where I am today, which is a weird place. I haven't been in this realm 7 years, almost 8 years, and this is a young man's realm. The question mark. Where's my next paycheck coming from? Do you want to date me? Is there dating? What's the date of dating? Is the date? Is the date? That's a young man's and young person's realm. So if you are single and unemployed and in your early 20s, that's you're supposed to be there. That's for that time. But I will say in your 30s, if you're single and semi-unemployed, people look at you funny. And they kind of go, oh, well, things will pick up. So one can only hope. But man, it's a strange time. I don't know if I'm being too personal here. I don't even know if people care. But you got to talk to somebody. So I'm talking to you, fine people. So we'll see. I'm putting the finishing touches on that TV show in October. So I got to go in to do some narration on that. So everything on that will wrap up in May. But in the meantime, you got to get to work. You got to get to work on a lot of things. Get to work physically, literally, work, and work on myself. Work on myself, and find a place to live. So it's pretty big matzo balls out there. One thing you should also know about me is I drink a lot of coffee. So if you hear that from time to time, that's what that is. So, like I say, this is just a test. Just a test. It might not even be great. We'll see what happens. But so this first installment, I have a dear friend, Mr. Adam Downey, the number one guy. If I am Jerry Seinfeld in my world of imagination here, he's my George Costanza. He's the Eeyore to my Tigger. And so we made this recording maybe 2 years ago, maybe, in hopes that we would get a radio job out of it. That did not come to fruition. You'll hear the difference between my energy and Downey's energy, and you'll realize his name is Downey for a reason. But Downey and I have been friends for 16 years. and continue to be friends. And it's really one of the greatest relationships I've ever been in. So this was us attempting to make a show. Parts of it are cut out because they're just not funny. We tried to do this little sketch, bibbidi-bobbidi, tickety-tackety, chatteroo off the top, and you can tell that it's forced. Maybe I'll leave some of it in. You can tell that it's forced, and because I'm not a good actor, but just try to give a sense of what it is. And our main guest for that time was Marty Adams. So, like I said, this was done 2 years ago or so, and at that time, Marty was a judge for the Toronto Sketch Fest here in Toronto. So there'll be a little talk about that, and he also talks about his theories on comedy. And you'll just hopefully understand how great Marty is, and oh my gosh, just what a gem. He recently ended Cannibal the Musical. He was in that. He ended the run there, and my gosh, ticket prices for his performance, let me rephrase that. His performance was worth the price of admission alone. This guy is he's in a world all by himself, and he's the best. He's the best. And he was recently nominated for a Canadian Screen Award for best guest star or supporting role or something. I don't know. I don't do research. But yeah. So and I do want to have Marty back on. And I do apologize about the quality of this podcast. My portion of it right now, anyway. One, I don't know how to do things. And two, the microphone is not the microphone I wanted to use. I couldn't get the microphone I wanted to use, so I'm just stuck with this one. Hopefully, as these continue, the microphone will get better, as will my speaking abilities. So, a little hot. That's too hot. I've been talking way too long. I've been talking for almost 13 minutes here. So let's get into this interview with Marty Adams. Oh my gosh, it's so great. I've known him for so long, and one of the nicest guys in comedy, which is a very rare thing. Very rare thing. But if you don't recognize the voice, I'm sure that if you'd know him to see him. He's been in commercials and television, and it was on the Second City main stage for a little while, and my gosh, he's the best. So without any further ado, here is a recording and an interview that Adam Downey and I did with Marty Adams a few years back. Enjoy. All right, Downey, big show, lots to get through. You ready for this? You seem kind of out of it.
Sleepy. I think it was all those pills that I took.
What kind of pills are you taking?
Sleeping pills?
Oh, yeah, that'll do. Hey, welcome to Next Up. I'm Andrew Chapman.
And I'm Adam Downey.
That's right. This is a show where we talk about the ins and outs of comedy, and there's lots of comedy going on in the city of Toronto right now.
Yeah.
It's Toronto Sketch Fest.
Sketch Fest, Cream of Comedy. Just
oh,
happened.
yeah, Cream of Comedy.
Sims.
That's right.
British Teeth were the big winners there.
British Teeth?
Yeah.
They're not British, though.
No, they're not teeth.
No, they're not teeth. They're not incisors. But they are funny. They're $5,000 worth of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a guy and girl duo, right?
Duo.
And they're from Montreal.
Yeah.
Originally.
They're great. They're really funny, and congratulations to them.
Yeah, we should have them on soon. We should congratulate them, and then also, just reprimand them for their false advertising.
Your name is not what you are.
No?
You're not British or teeth.
Right.
Stop it.
Explain. Question mark.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to get to. I was watching a lot of sketch for the Sketch Fest, and a lot of these sketch troupes are like 10 people now.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Broadway cast in a sketch troupe.
Yeah, it's a trend I've noticed. There's a lot of duos. There's a lot of gigantic 15-person troupes.
Well, yeah, and do you think that they have all those people in a sketch troupe so they guarantee themselves an audience? Everyone brings 2 people.
Maybe it's more minds in the writing room. I don't know, but
I always like less is more. I think that in comedy
sometimes. I think if you got a 10-person cast that works well together and you're switching it up, you're not always having 10-person scenes, then it's gonna.
I guess so. I don't know, but I think it makes the scenes longer, and I think in this generation, this YouTube, iPad generation, people lose interest within the first minute and a half.
No attention span.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. But I don't know. I prefer the duo myself. Lots of famous duos out there.
Yeah, well, whatever works, I think. Whatever.
Great opinion there, Downey. Nice. Yep. Whatever.
Man,
Whatever it is.
I had 15 of those pills, man. I am out of it. I need a coffee. Something.
All right, man. So speaking of sketch, though, I was actually at the Second City last night. I was watching the Sketch Fest. It was a lot of fun. A troupe from Montreal actually just tore the roof off that
More
place.
outsiders.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They're very good. Speaking of Second City, the main stage show at Second City is called Dreams Really Do Come True and Other Lies. It's a great show. You should check it out. And I was thinking about the title of that show, and one of my dreams is always to go to the moon. I want to go to the moon.
It's a silly dream.
Why? You leave your own planet, you go hang out on the moon, you look back at Earth and say, yeah. That's what I would say if I was on the moon.
What inspiring words from the moon.
Not one small step for man. Just, yeah.
Yo.
When
earthy.
can we go back?
Yeah. If you want to come to a lifeless, dusty rock, you can just come to my apartment.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can watch the mice fighting the roaches over the things that I just leave on the floor.
Yeah.
So I guess it's
Which
not
is everything.
It's not lifeless, I guess.
Right.
There's lots of scurrying things, but it's dusty.
Yeah.
And it's made of rock. So
Where do you live?
a cave. You know that cave that's at college in Ossington?
Yeah.
I live there.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of Second City, we actually have a Second City alumnus in the studio with us today, Mr. Marty Adams. He's also a stand-up and a sketch performer as well, and you've probably seen him a bunch of movies and stuff.
Brilliant improviser.
Yeah, we're going to ask him all about how he does his comedy, because I don't think he ever writes anything down.
No, if I remember back in the day watching him at Yuck Yucks, and he would just go up and chat with the audience, and it was always amazing. Also, probably one of the nicest people ever.
Yeah. Yeah, which is like an oxymoron, because a lot of people think the comedians have to be angry and sad and everything.
Well, I mean, he's a big guy. Like he's a large, strong-looking gentleman, and I heard that when he wants his way, he just punches people.
Right. With his punchlines? Huh? Go with me on that one.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Oh, hang on. I think we got Marty on the line.
Oh,
Let me just take this.
we're doing a phone interview now.
Hello?
Hey, it's Marty.
Hey, where are you?
I'm just about to walk into the building.
Okay, I'll come down and get you.
Okay, I'm going through the front door.
Yeah. Yeah, you should go through the front door. Okay. I'll see you in a bit.
We'll be right back.
Hey, Downey, you want to put your pizza away? We're
No,
coming back from
I
commercial.
don't want to put my pizza
all right.
away.
Hey, welcome back. Adam and Andrew here on Next Up with our very special guest in the studio, Mr. Marty Adams. Marty, what's going on, man?
I'm a little upset I wasn't offered this pizza.
Hey, talk to Downey about that.
Do you want some of the crust?
No, I'm allergic to gluten. Should have mentioned that. I shouldn't really be upset about the pizza.
I should have just ordered cheese and onions in a box.
That's what I always do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
As we mentioned before the break, Marty is a Second City alumni here in Toronto, and also a wonderful stand-up, and you've probably seen him in several commercials and films and stuff. So thanks so much for being here, Marty.
Yeah, I have a lot to do, so we can move this along.
Well, you do
already. Wow.
You are. We were talking about the Toronto Sketch Fest. You're judging the Toronto Sketch Fest.
I am actually. I'm really honored. It's an amazing festival, and I'm judging a couple of shows this Saturday night at the Comedy Bar, 7 o'clock and 9 p.m. Come on out and check out some amazing troops. I don't know their names.
What do you look for when you judge comedy? And can you judge comedy? I mean, it's a pretty subjective thing.
Well, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he is absolute law, so don't
Yeah,
cross him.
I'm the Judge Dredd of sketch comedy. Is this what we're saying, Adam?
I knew.
No, you know what? It is so subjective. It's tough because you have a lot of shows out there nowadays that can and will judge things. But I really think that, I believe that it's an art form and that everything's kind of interpretive. So you just do the best you can and you try and be fair.
Yeah.
And what's your opinion about these large sketch troupes these days? Do you like them? Do you prefer them? Do you think that there's too many people?
I think it's tough to kind of maintain that because I think eventually egos may come into play and people may want more stage time or what have you. But myself, I would love that because I am lazy. Yeah. So it'd just be like, hey, Marty, you're not in any scenes tonight. Fine with me. I'll go eat some cheese and onions in a box.
Yeah.
Do you prefer being a stand-up as opposed to sketch?
It's you know what, I actually prefer the kind of the realm of sketch comedy and the acting because it's you feel like you're working with a team and it's kind of a cohesive. You're bringing something to the table someone else's, and when you create something, you feel kind of great about it. Not that you don't when you do stand-up comedy, but it's very singular and you kind of rise and fall on yourself. I'm not saying that it's more brave to go out and be a stand-up comedian, but you certainly are putting everything about yourself on the line. And if you fail, you can't say, "Oh, well, that was Adam. He didn't pick up that line tonight," like you might in a sketch show. But I would never blame anybody. Right.
You just blame me.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
And I did drop a line. I'm sorry. But you don't write things like, even when you're doing stand up, you don't write anything down. You just jump up and you just do it.
I never did. It's only because I really felt like I wanted to kind of test myself to be able to go up there with nothing and try and make people laugh. And you know what? A lot of those times where you were talking about earlier, when you're at like a nightclub where there's nobody in the audience, those are the times where you kind of can break away from a material and actually start talking with people, because sometimes that's the only way to get their attention.
Yeah.
And I always found it was just a great challenge to get up in front of people. One time, if I may, I was doing a stand-up show, and I was like, I knew I was going to mention allergies, because people have weird, ridiculous allergies. So the first person I pointed at, and a lot of times I really trust that the comedy gods will just give me my material, if you're open to it. And I pointed at this girl. I said, "Oh, what's your allergy? What's your allergy?" She goes, "I'm allergic to fruit." And I literally for 3 minutes spent 3 minutes going, "This is amazing. This will clean 10 minutes of time for me. I can literally talk to you about how you're allergic to fruit and how ridiculous that is and how that shouldn't be possible." And then I asked her if she's allergic to juicy fruit. She goes, no, that's fine. And I was like, "Fruit juice?" She goes, "No, that's fine as well." And I'm like, "Then you're a darn liar."
Yeah.
And then I talked to this woman. She said she was allergic to a cat. And then the person sitting next to her name was Kitty. And I made no reference to it because I missed it. And then afterwards, after the show, I went, "What, am I stupid? The girl's name's Kitty, sitting next to the woman who's allergic to a cat." And I said nothing.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah. A lot of cheese and boxes that night.
Do you... I know that the Second City approach to sketch tends to be sketch from improv for a lot of it.
Yep.
Is that your preferred way of doing for sketch as well, or do you find that you kind of started writing stuff down more for sketch because of the other players that you're with?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love the way they create material at the Second City. When you come up with an idea, and basically you get up and improvise that idea, and then little by little you do it over and over and over again, and just put in new bits that work and what have you until you have a finished, refined sketch. And I think that's a really kind of cool way to do it. I myself am more of like a beat writer. I have a bunch of ideas in mind, and maybe I'll tell someone, "Hey, I just kind of want to go from here to here to here," and I don't know how we'll get there, but let's just do it. But I also enjoy just having something written out, because then you kind of know exactly what you want, and there's so many different ways to do it. But I guess I am more of a fan of kind of improvising, getting up, but you don't always have the luxury of having a 100 or 300 person audience there every night to kind of help you write your material when you're not on the main stage anymore. So
with the beat writing, do you try to find the same lines in every beat? Do you try to get to a point where the sketch is the same every time, or do you let it kind of fall into place differently every night?
You definitely refine it. So there are a lot of times you keep the same kind of lines that have a great hit with the audience, that elicit a lot of laughs, and then so you kind of refine it, keep that, find a new one, keep that, and then by the end, it's trial and error. You come up with a pretty great scene, hopefully.
And what's your opinion on the time duration of a sketch? Like, do you say 1 minute and a half, or does it matter, or if it's funny, it's funny?
Well, when I started doing amateur sketch comedy, I always said to myself, "Oh, the shorter the better, get in and get out," because people kind of are like an ADD kind of age.
That's what I think. Yeah,
where people can't really pay attention. Then I watched Second City main stage performers before myself, and saw them doing an 8 to 10 minute scene, and I was just enthralled the whole time, and I couldn't believe the mastery that they had performing wise, how they could just nuance every little aspect of what makes that scene work, and I wanted even more after 10 minutes. So it's a weird kind of range there. I think if you can do a great scene and it's long, awesome, but if not, then sometimes shorter is better.
And is that what you think you'll see when you judge the Toronto Sketch Fest?
I have no idea. I don't know who's performing. No, I think I'll see a lot of shorts, because I don't think they have a ton of time, because I think it's a bunch of troops in the span of like 45 minutes or 50 minutes. So I'm expecting to see some shorter stuff, but hey, if they can pull off the long stuff, then kudos.
Yeah.
Now, we were saying, you don't really write your jokes and stuff, but how do you get a germ of an idea for a comedy joke? Just don't laugh at that.
How do you get a germ of an idea?
Germ, a little speck. Like, do you wait?
You go to the subway,
All
you
right.
lick the pole on the subway.
Yep.
You get all kinds of joke germs.
All
like that.
right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use lingo.
Well, it depends. I mean, like when I'm writing a sketch, I'm writing jokes within the sketch.
But do
when
you
I'm
already
doing,
have it in your mind, or you just sit in the computer and wait?
well, it depends on the kind of joke you're trying to tell. Like if you're a Seinfeld type comedian, you're telling like maybe stories or like observational humor.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's stuff that you've realized. Like maybe you're on the subway and you see someone licking the pole, and you go, "I smell a joke," and then it germinates.
Stop it. Thank you. Don't humor me. Don't humor me.
This is why we're here. So observational humor, you could do there's shock humor where people just kind of throw stuff at you in your face about certain, hard topics and what have you. And
Bodily fluids.
Exactly.
What is going on here?
Gallagher, the guy who used to hit
the
watermelons with a hammer.
Yeah.
He would have to germinate the seed to
All right.
get the watermelon to grow.
I'm never
so that it
speaking
gets-
again.
I ain't never living that down.
You know my.
But no, there's many different ways to craft a joke. Some jokes are short, and some jokes are really long and have no punchline.
Yeah.
And I call those my dad's jokes.
My dad's a doctor. I think that's why I said the germ thing.
Oh, well, that would make sense.
Is that really?
He's the doctor of
They say laughter is the best medicine. So really, I'm better than my dad.
Yes, and you know what? Laughing actually helps put out carbon monoxide, which helps
Kill
trees?
people?
I don't know.
Murder is everything.
You know what? I started thinking that I knew something
Carbon,
smart, and then
carbon
I finished-
dioxide.
What did I say?
Monoxide that comes out of a car.
That kills people. Monoxide does. Carbon dioxide's good.
Yeah.
Because it's a dioxide.
Right.
Wow, you know what? I'm a comedian. I should have really went to school more.
Well, I failed most of my classes, and this is all that I have left. So I try not to I just don't talk.
I have a backup plan.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What's that?
I really don't have a backup plan.
Yeah, no,
I'm so sorry. Remember when we were great?
Yeah. And then we tried to do an extra thing. We're like, we got it. Yeah, let's tag this joke.
Yeah.
Oh, it ends sad.
Yeah.
So that's Marty Adams. You can catch him at the Toronto Sketch Fest, judging people and breaking their hearts or lifting their spirits.
Breaking their heart.
So there you go. That's just a little taste of what we were trying to do. As you can see, it's not timeless. That was really specific to a specific point in time. But it did remind me of a lot of things. Tonight is actually the opening night of the new Second City show, which I think is called How to Kill a Comedian, which sounds like a negative title, but I think that's what it is. It's like How to Kill a Mockingbird, to kill a comedian. I've got to do my research. Hang on a minute. A bunch of new people. Kyle Dooley is in the cast, and you can hear me typing away on my computer right now, can't you? To kill a comedian. I may have to record this whole thing. No, it's How to Kill a Comedian. Yeah. Main stage show, opening night tonight. Meg McGuire is the new stage manager, which is great. Meg is amazing, and she's worked so hard, and she's so great for it. So if you're in Toronto, or if you're like, hey, I wish I got to Toronto, but what will we do there? Go check out the Second City main stage. Always a good time. And Marty, speaking of Second City and Marty, there's a thing called the Second City Project, and I believe you can watch it on globaltv.com. There's a few sketches he's in, and oh my gosh, the Sphinx, he has this Sphinx song, so great, so wonderful. And he does a bit with Paul Bates about expenses, and you just got to watch it to just enjoy the pure magic that is Marty Adams. So again, I'm not going to edit this. I'm not going to make this all slick, because I want this to be as raw and as, unpolished, sure, rough as possible. I do like it, and maybe I'll get Downey back in here. Downey's a hermit. Downey never leaves his apartment. He's the best. And maybe I'll just interview him one day. As you can tell, the interview that we did with Marty was actually done in a studio, so that's why it sounded a little bit better. I don't know how long these things are going to be. This is pretty much a half an hour. That's enough time, don't you think? Keep it short, keep it simple. A lot of this could be cut out anyways. I think when I do have guests in here, my apartment, wherever that may be, because I got to move soon, Maybe it'll be more relaxed and have longer time to chat and get more out of people, and maybe get more personal. The next one that I'm going to do is next week. I hope to do these at least once a week on Tuesdays. And the one I've already got loaded up is Mr. Jason DeRoss, who's a hell of a guy, really, really funny. You've seen him in commercials in the Second City stage as well. And he worked for my brother Tom once upon a time. So we should get him too, because that's a good story too. Anyways, if you like this, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm just putting it out there because, you know, you got to put your money where your mouth is eventually, right? And look, it took me, an hour to do this? And maybe some people like it. I hope you did. And I hope you keep coming back. I'm going to promote this, and please, just let me know what you think of it. And I'm open to anything. If you have any suggestions on how to make it better, or if you can just go, hey, Chappy, don't ever do this again. You're not good at it, and I have other things to do with my time. Please, just never do this. So thanks, everybody, and or the one person who's listening to this, which may be my mom. I don't know. All right, I'll talk to you soon, and have a great rest of the day, week, month, whenever you're listening to this. And I'll keep you posted on what's happening with me and my love life and my home life, or lack thereof. All right. I don't know how to end this. Bye.